What? I'm not asking about the shape of the Earth or the shape of the sun. I'm just saying we see a light in the sky. How far away is that light?
Well, if you figured out the layers of density to the point where the sun could be sitting there, then that's where it would be somewhere. But I don't know what the
Well,
layers are
give me a
and how
ballpark.
thick they
Hundreds of
are.
miles. Give me a ballpark. Hundreds of miles, thousands of miles, tens of thousands, millions. How far away?
Just
Come
not
on,
at
you
a
gotta
point
have
where
an
I can
idea,
give you a
right?
clear answer on that. So I know it would.
Look, I covered
No, no,
this.
no, 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 no.
Oh,
Look,
no, I covered this
maybe
in a hangout.
if
It's 93
you're gonna make
million
me.
miles away,
eh,
150 million kilometers.
Do you
Okay.
think you could see something that far away?
Yeah, very easily.
How? How is that even possible? Things go out into the
Photons,
distance 30 miles
photons,
and you can't see them
photons
anymore.
travel indefinitely. Photons of light travel indefinitely.
You're
They
already
have
on
no
a.
limit. They don't get weak. They don't fade out with distance. A photon remains its same energy strength no matter how
What I
far.
believe is that if something was a million miles away, there would be enough stuff in between you and the object where the photon or whatever it
No,
is would be
not
absorbed
true.
by something
No,
and you wouldn't
not
see
true.
it.
Not true. The vacuum of space between the Earth and the Sun, there's nothing there.
You have to
The
be
How
only
able to
do
thing
how do we
prove
prove
that
there's a
when you
vacuum of
go
space,
high enough
George?
that there is a
let
George,
me tell
vacuum.
you, the
And
George,
only
I don't
difference,
think
the
you've
only
ever been
George,
thing
able.
between,
George,
no, the only
George,
thing,
George.
the
You've
only,
just
hey,
asserted the
no,
George,
the
vacuum of
only,
space.
hey, wait,
George,
the only
George.
thing between
Hello,
the Earth and the
George,
Sun is about
George,
20
George.
miles of
Hello,
atmosphere.
George. Are you ever going to shut up? So you just said because of the vacuum of space.
Yes, there's
Well,
nothing
how,
there. Vacuum means
yeah, I
nothing.
heard what you asserted. How do we have gas pressure? Why am I breathing if there's a vacuum of space?
What do you mean? How can you have gas pressure?
Next to a vacuum? How is that
There is
possible?
there's no pressure next to a vacuum.
So, what are you talking about? We've got gas pressure here, right? And you just said the light travels through a
At the
vacuum.
surface of the Earth. That is not out at the outer reaches of the atmosphere. Out at the outer reaches of the atmosphere, it's insignificant pressure. It feathers
So,
out
at some
into
point, between the
vacuum of space.
insignificant pressure, there's a vacuum. Yeah, how is
No,
that possible?
no, there is. There is not pressure next to a vacuum. You
So,
have that
you're
wrong.
saying I've got pressure here, and the light's traveling through a vacuum. What's the in-between bit then?
There's a pressure gradient. It
Yeah,
dissipates
so at some
out
point,
to
the pressure
nothing.
gradient ends, and there's a fucking vacuum, you moron. Right?
Yeah. No,
So,
you're the moron.
therefore, at
You're the
some point, the
moron,
gas
dude.
pressure
You
ends
don't
and the
understand. No, you
vacuum.
don't
Why are you
understand.
talking over
There's
me, you
no
old bastard?
pressure.
Why are you
There's
talking
no
over me, you
pressure.
old bastard? I'm
There's
talking.
no
I've listened to
pressure.
your shit.
There's
Now
no
you
pressure.
listen to
You don't
me.
understand
Shut your
now,
mouth,
Oakley.
you old bastard. I'm talking. Shut
You're a
up.
dumb shit, Oakley. You know, you're
I'm
such a
talking and you're
narcissist,
talking over me. And I'm
sociopathic.
calling
You're
you
the
an old
dumb
bastard
shit.
because you won't shut your
You
mouth while I
just like
talk.
to talk over
Yeah?
everybody.
At
It's
some
no fun. I
point,
came in
the
here to talk
pressure
to
ends.
Daniel,
Why are
not
you
to argue with
rumpusing?
a dumb
You don't like this
God
point, do you?
damn it,
Just like
Oakley. Go
conspiracy
to
cats.
hell, you son
You
of a
don't like
bitch.
this point, do you, George? If there's a gradient, at some point, regardless of how small, there's going to be a pressure gradient next to a vacuum. Doesn't matter if
No.
you say it's a very
No.
small amount of pressure. I'm still talking, you stupid
I
old
don't give a
bastard.
shit.
Shut your mouth.
Shit.
I'm still talking, you stupid old bastard. Yeah, so
Yeah.
George fucks off when I step in because his assertion that light travels forever through a vacuum, which he asserts is space, and then asserts we've got a pressure gradient. Yeah, okay, I'm with you. Yeah, we've got pressure. Yeah, then there's a vacuum. And when I get to the bit where it's, well, what about the in-between bit? Oh, no, it doesn't work like that. It just fades out into the vacuum. So at some point there is pressure next to a vacuum then. Even if it's a very, very small pressure, I don't give a shit. It's pressure, and it's next to a vacuum with no barrier. That's where George fucks off, because he's a pathetic little twat with no argument for that question. If I ask him, why am I breathing, given that you assert we've got a vacuum of space that this light travels through, suddenly he fucks off. Yeah, you pathetic weasel. Fuck off. Don't come here asserting your religious belief in a vacuum of space. I'm breathing gas pressure, you moron, you stupid old bastard. That'll be all. You carry on, as you were.
Yeah, I think George just didn't think clearly about it before he came in here. He has no idea where we're at. So
Yeah, he thinks he can come here. He thinks I've disappeared temporarily because I'm dealing with my kid. And that means I can't listen to his shit in my background in my left ear while I'm dealing with something else in the right. It's like, no, I can happily change a nappy and listen to you assert nonsense. Light travels forever because of a vacuum. Oh, right, so we're all believing in space suddenly, are we? We're suddenly a load of space believers like you, George, you muppet.
yeah, he doesn't realize.
Funny.
Sorry.
Yeah, he doesn't like it when I rumpus him back. So I ask him about the gas pressure next to a vacuum. He says it doesn't work like that. So I take him through exactly how it is supposed to be working in his world, and then he fucks off. I didn't kick him, he fucked off. And it's because I wouldn't let him just constantly talk over me when he says we've got a gas pressure gradient. Yeah, I get it. Gas pressure that gets less and less. Well, there's still a vacuum eventually, according to your space religion, George. Yeah? Normally you're here defending Coriolis, aren't you? It's obviously out of your remit to defend vacuum next to space. You're just one of the wankers that comes and asserts it without any actual demonstrable proof that we could be breathing gas pressure, given that the light you're talking about travels through your religious belief of a vacuum. Muppet. Religitard. Zealot.